I wasn't in a position to like just go move into an apartment or to like go give us a home of our own. It's currently 4:30 in the morning and I'm at the new house. Parents are still waiting on their stuff, but I popped over here early this morning with the hopes of trying to get more things situated and organized. As my parents are waiting for their stuff, I figured I should just try to get our stuff in order as much as possible. My goal for this morning, which I'm going to give myself like, let's see, 4:30, 5:30 to 6. Oh no. I don't know, an hour and a half to 2 hours. We'll just see what I can get done. Maybe I'll turn you around really quick. So the bed is going this way, which I had them do initially just because I've heard it's good juju to have the bed facing the door leading out. But I think for space sake, I'm gonna try to shift the bed over against this wall so that this whole wall is open. Apparently my parents have a dresser from like our old bedroom that they brought, and it's obviously big, and I'm sure that I could use the storage for clothes maybe, although I will say I'm impressed. I've done very well with getting lots of stuff. I mean, I still have so much room in the closet, but we're not going to be here forever. So I'm trying to be as patient and like understanding with the stuff that they have and that they brought. Yeah, we're just trying to kind of work together as much as possible to like have things work, both of our stuff. I mean, I don't have that much stuff anyway. It feels like a lot. I have a lot of little things. I have a lot of art stuff and like bedding, and obviously the boys have a decent amount of toys, but I feel like I have like art stuff and books is like basically my, I don't even know. I don't know what you would call it. Those are my things. Those are most of the things that I brought. But yeah, so I'm gonna just try to get the bed cleared off, move these bags, shift the bed. I have a small desk that I'm gonna bring in here that I can work on YouTube videos, that I can paint maybe a little bit. And if I mean, depending on what job, what happens, I can work from home a bit. So whatever. I'm gonna have to make do with what we have. And I want to talk about that a little bit more, but let's just get situated here first. So, I mean, I have a lot of emotions and like thoughts about moving back in with my parents. I am super grateful. I feel like I have to keep saying and like not even like not for myself, more for you guys, but just like reiterating literally how thankful I am. Like I even said to my sister the other day, I mildly was complaining or venting about something, and then I was like, but at least we're not homeless. I know that the situation could be so much worse, and really like my parents letting us come into their home, given literally lived in the same house for 30 years, never left their starter home, and then buy a beautiful new house, have it freshly painted and all this stuff, and they are like, yeah, come stay with us. Like it's all good, it's all fine, no pressure. I mean, that's wonderful. That's amazing. I don't know that everybody's parents are that way. Obviously, I would hope so, because that's a wonderful thing, but you just never know. You don't know. Not everybody has people, or even people to be that generous, or that they would feel that safe with to like bring their kids along with them and do all that. Take this with a grain of salt or whatever. I'm not trying to complain, and this isn't even venting. This is me. I feel like just being an adult human, and I'm trying to give myself a lot of grace and also just remind myself, and my sister has been like super good at reminding me kindly as well, to like give my parents grace too, because they're stressed. They've never done this before. Their stuff hasn't come, which it was supposed to be here 2 days ago now. I just am trying to like chill out a little bit through this process of like slowly moving in. On one hand, it's like exciting. It's exciting that it's like a fresh start, a new change. It will be exciting to actually like be moved in and be settled. But on the other hand, it's also very bittersweet in a sense, because I've been moved out for, I don't know, 5-6 years now. Then moving back in to a smaller space with two small humans and all of our stuff. Granted, I just said we didn't have that much stuff, but it's sad. Everything, I just feel like right now it's still so fresh that like everything that's happening, every change, every motion forward, as like good as it is, I feel like it also sort of feels like a reminder of why and like why we're here, what's happening. There's a lot of stuff to figure out. And I feel like since this all started, things have sort of been nonstop for me and it's just been stressful. And I'm trying to be brave and like happy and normal for my kids, and then also be helpful to my parents and my sister and watch my niece and all of these things. And I feel like on one hand, a beautiful, chaotic distraction. And then on the other hand, I will like find myself hitting a limit that I didn't even know I was reaching. And then I'm like crying, and I'm allowing myself to like go through the motions and letting the motions like come in waves, as many people said that they probably would. So it's all okay, but it can be very overwhelming. I just feel like I haven't even had a moment to process or be. Like, these videos are actually becoming heavenly, and like I'm so thankful to be able to process and share, and even to begin getting feedback, because I mean the encouragement, it's all just so lovely, and I'm just so thankful for the whole process of it all. But I digress because that got way off topic. I am very thankful, and I know that like once we're settled and things calm down and like a routine established, whether or not I'm working is known and established, that will all be, you know, very, very good and helpful moving forward, instead of being stuck in like this in between and this like kind of sadness because everything's a reminder, although I know that that will fade too. I just want to be like really honest through this whole process. I found myself getting very, I don't know, maybe frustrated or like disheartened by realizing that things will be confined. Why am I having such a hard time saying this? I feel like I've gotten frustrated in a very human way that like we're in this relatively large space, and I feel like we're going to be confined to our rooms, to like this area of the house. And, you know, sometimes I hate like even to admit that, because I'm like, gosh, you sound like such a brat, or like, you know, don't be selfish, just be thankful. But I also just feel like, you know what? It's okay. Like, it's okay to feel these things. It's okay to be human. Like, I'm feeling what I'm feeling. I'm going through what I'm going through, and just like let it be. You don't have to constantly criticize yourself or pick yourself apart for having these very human feelings. What matters is like how you handle it, how you go about it, and what you do with it. These are things that I'm trying to also teach my kids. And so it's like so silly to me that like I want them to be mentally sound and healthy and be able to communicate with me and all of these things, but then I'm not executing that myself. So I'm just trying to give myself grace and remind myself that like, yes, be thankful, recognize what is being given to you and your kids, recognize how divine and like timely good that this all is. But at the same time, you know, if you feel frustrated that you can't use the office as an office to like as your creative space and to paint and like all of this stuff because it's not your home, like that's a valid feeling, but that's not my parents' fault. And like that also doesn't make this situation my fault. There doesn't have to be a fault for the feeling to be valid. And I'm just trying to remind myself as this process goes, because I mean, I think any transition, I want to be an advocate for multi-generational living. I don't know how I feel about it. And I feel like it highly depends on the relationship you have with family and the people you're doing it with, what the setup and situation is going to look like. And like none of us planned for this. I think when multi-generational living happens, oftentimes like there is probably more of like a planned reason, like, oh, we want to take care of grandma, or oh, like this is a value that we have. And I don't know that like our family was quite there. Like we wanted to be close to each other, but them moving here was like to be way closer to my sister, and then a good proximity to me and the boys where we were living before. It's just a process to walk through mentally. So, I mean, I know that like I feel a little bit bratty, and then I feel bad and guilty, but at the end of the day, I know that my heart is in the right place. I think I'm just more overwhelmed and discouraged that like this is the situation, that like this is life. It's still coming to grips that like this is life right now. I wasn't in a position to like just go move into an apartment or to like go give us a home of our own. That's okay, but sometimes it's just like, man, it feels like a fail or it feels like a loss. There's no reason to think that way because I can't change it. Like, it is what it is. Everything from now moving forward is literally going to be what we make it. Like, life, I know, is what you make it. I just feel like I have to find the good bits in all of this and let the tough bits roll off my back and make it not matter. And if something is bothering me that much, that it has to be a priority to then just like take that up with my parents and talk through it, or, you know, pray and figure it out myself first and then go from there. I really just like can't sweat the small stuff. I can't let the little things get to me. I do want to acknowledge what it is that I'm feeling, like being frustrated about feeling like I have to be crammed in my room. I have to fit a desk in here and this bed, and now that I have this furniture, and I find it all annoying. But at the end of the day, it's just like, this is temporary. This is helpful for me, and just be positive. My goal is really to just get to a place where I can function out of gratitude. I really, really just want to be able to be that person that can just truly let gratitude be the only way that I think through things. But I mean, this is gonna be great for my parents. Oh shoot, I forgot that there's things on the bottom. Well, we're gonna be able to do this. If I just go slow. My other thought is also, I mean, I don't know what job I'm gonna get. I think initially I was planning on relying on them a little too much, like being hopeful that they could help a little too much. And it also could just be bad timing. But the vibes I get are just kind of like, oh, that doesn't sound good. Not that they don't want to help, but I mean, I think that they're probably just super overwhelmed too. And so I know that they would help with the boys. My hope, I guess, was that I could work and sort of find this mixture of like leaving them with my parents and paying them, opting out of like the preschool life. And I just kind of feel like that's probably not going to work. And I think my niece is probably going to be watched by my mom. I mean, she's younger, it's fine. I mean, it is what it is. I think that I should plan, have as little help as possible. But also, I feel like I totally flipped my schedule on its head in a sense, because right now I don't wake up late, but I'm surely not usually up at 4 a.m. But what's funny is that I've wanted to be, like, I've been wanting to wake up earlier. And you know, sometimes when you want things, it's like you do want them, but that execution piece just is not there. And so I have not been following through on actually like changing my schedule or anything at all. But my thought is also like, okay, we're living here. We basically have like what you could call a separate wing to the house in a sense. So if I'm up super early, because fun fact about my parents, they are night owls and they enjoy being up very, very late, especially since my mom stopped working. Oh my goodness, she goes to bed so late. And it's very funny because she also wakes up in the afternoon. I just feel like I don't know. I'm not trying to like rock their world either. Just because my world got rocked doesn't mean that theirs does. So I think overall my goal is just going to be to wake up super early, like super early, between 3:30 and 4, get a workout in, get ready for work, hop on and start working. Obviously, this is also like assuming I get the one job that I spoke about before, the full-time job. But if that was a situation, that's what I would do. I'd get up early, try to get a workout in, get ready, start working. Then when the boys wake up, I'll still like try to keep working up until we have to get ready and go. And then I would take them to the preschool that my sister works at and where my nephews go part-time. And so then I would be like in the office for like 6 or 7 hours, pick them up, and then have to finish like my work day online, like at home, work from home, finishing the work day. And so it would be busy and I would have to go to bed with the boys. Like there's no way that I could sustain, like even now I already feel myself getting kind of tired. But that's kind of my thought. Like if I do all of that, then I feel like we're just kind of out of their hair, and still a way to save money to get out of debts that are owed. And to just really start to establish like a foundation and a routine, regardless if we're here or in another house or in an apartment or whatever the future may hold. My goal really is to just kind of like be here for a year, I think, and just get settled. Like, I just want to try to be so frugal and save and be really good. And so I feel like that's a huge opportunity that a lot of people probably don't get, like to just like reset at 30. I just want to try to do that. I want to try to be so wise during this time and just learn from my mistakes, move forward, and like do the things that I know count and matter. And in doing so, I think there will be great reward. And like part of that is inherently like working with my parents and being as honoring as possible. I think this whole situation is literally just very humbling, and it's hard to be humbled, especially when going through something that feels like it's not, I want to say it's not my fault, but like when you're going through a sucky thing, the last thing that you want to do is like be humbled. And I think that's just like a very human feeling and experience, and that's just kind of where I've been at the last few days since like we've started like actually unpacking and getting moved in. I've just felt so like prickly and frustrated about things, but it's like, this isn't your house. You didn't pay a dime, and you get to just like be here and live here and have your kids here, and you're like 6 houses down from your sister. So like stop complaining, pick yourself up, and it's go time. Figure out a plan. What are you going to do? And if you really don't want to be here that bad, like if you're unwilling to work with your parents that much, then get a job, put your kids in daycare for, you know, a full day, and like do the grind that everybody else does, or do things differently and get in a different mindset, get thankful and positive, and move forward. That's the option that I'm going to pick because I think that that is a better option. That is the type of character that I want to have. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make the most out of the situation. I am going to be a 30-year-old living with my parents, with my kids next door in the room, which is also scary because I have not yet slept in a room without my kids. So big changes all around. I am one of those people. So I don't know, we'll see. It will be an adventure going forward, but I felt like it was important to share all of that stuff because that is also very real. It's a very real part of this whole thing that has added to the overwhelm because it's losing space. It is in fact like, yeah, I'm losing. I just feel like I'm kind of losing at all ends. But just because I feel that way doesn't mean that that's all that there is. I mean, there is more. I'm gaining in a lot of ways too. And I have to keep the mindset and like my focus on what is being gained versus any losses at this point. So that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, we are. I have a lot more shifting around and got to get a desk in here and get some more organized, but clearly I'm not very good at chatting with you, work done. So I have to get moving here so I can get back before the boys wake up. But thank you for being here, for tuning in, for watching, and for listening to this spiel of humanness. And I will catch you guys in the next video.